Imagine waking up tomorrow and suddenly your car breaks down, or you get sick, or even worse, you lose your job. What would you do? Most people panic because they have no money set aside for emergencies. That's where the emergency fund comes in. Think of it as your safety net, a money cushion that can protect you from financial stress when life throws unexpected problems at you. So how much money should you ideally save for emergencies? There's a simple rule that financial experts follow, the 3 to 6 months rule. The idea is to save enough money to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses, not your total salary, not what you spend on entertainment or gadgets, but just the money you actually need to survive. Rent, groceries, electricity, water, transport, EMIs, and basic medical costs. Let's make it real. Imagine your monthly essential expenses are $500. According to the 3-6 months rule, your emergency fund should be between $1,500. That's it. 3 months gives you a short-term cushion, and 6 months gives you more security. This money acts as a shield, so if anything unexpected happens, you don't have to borrow, take loans, or sell your assets at the wrong time. Now, you might be thinking, $1,500 or $3,000 is a lot of money. How can I save that fast? Don't worry. You don't have to save it all at once. Start small, but start smart. First, track your monthly expenses. Write down every essential cost: rent, food, utilities, transport, medical bills. Then see how much you spend on non-essential things like dining out, movies, shopping, subscriptions. If you can cut even a small part of these, that money can go straight into your emergency fund. Automation helps a lot. Set up an automatic transfer to a separate account every month, even if it's just $50 or $100. The key is consistency. If you suddenly get a bonus, a gift, or any extra income, don't spend it immediately. Put it in your emergency fund. Little by little, it grows, and soon you reach your target. Where should this money be kept? It should be in a safe place, somewhere you can access it quickly, but where it also earns a little interest. High-yield savings accounts, short-term fixed deposits, or money market accounts are great options. Avoid risky places like stocks or crypto for this money, because you don't want it to lose value when you need it the most. Now, it's important to understand when to actually use this emergency fund. Only use it for real emergencies: job loss, sudden medical expenses, urgent home or car repairs, or family emergencies. Do not touch it for wants, vacations, parties, or upgrades. This is not your fun money. It's your financial life jacket. Here's a simple tip to speed up your savings. Consider cutting non-essential spending temporarily. It could be something small like reducing eating out, subscriptions you don't use, or shopping for unnecessary items. Even $20 to $30 a week can add up quickly. Another tip is to monetize your skills. Freelancing, online work, or side gigs can give you extra money to pump into your emergency fund. Many people believe they don't really need to save an emergency fund because they can always borrow money from friends or family if something unexpected happens. At first, this might seem like a reasonable idea. After all, if you have a supportive network, why not rely on them when emergencies strike? The problem is, life rarely goes according to plan, and assuming you can always depend on others is risky. Not everyone has the same financial flexibility, and even well-meaning friends or family may be unable to help when you need them most. Emergencies don't check your relationships or schedules. They happen suddenly, and if you don't have your own safety net, the consequences can be stressful or even devastating. Relying on others for financial help can create tension in relationships. Money is one of the biggest causes of disputes among friends and family. If you constantly borrow from people, it can lead to feelings of guilt, resentment, or awkwardness, even if they initially agree to help. Some may feel pressured to say yes, but what happens if they're unable to provide support the next time? You could feel embarrassed or disappointed, which can strain otherwise healthy relationships. This is why depending on others is not a reliable plan for handling financial emergencies. Borrowing money also creates stress. Even if a friend or family member is willing to lend you money, knowing that you owe someone can weigh heavily on your mind. You might constantly think about repayment, worry about their reaction if you're late, or feel anxious about having to explain your situation repeatedly. This mental burden can be surprisingly heavy, especially when combined with the stress of the emergency itself. For example, if you face a sudden medical expense, worrying about who can lend you money and when they can pay it back adds an extra layer of anxiety on top of the physical or emotional strain you're already experiencing. Debt is another serious consequence of relying on others. While borrowing from family or friends might seem like a zero-interest option, it is still technically a form of debt. If the amount is significant, repayment may take months or even years. Meanwhile, if you rely on loans from banks or other financial institutions, the interest and repayment terms can make the situation even worse. Many people end up paying far more than they borrowed, and in some cases these debts can spiral out of control, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. Emergencies themselves are stressful enough. Adding debt to the mix only makes financial recovery harder. Having your own emergency fund completely eliminates these risks. An emergency fund is money you set aside specifically for unexpected events, meaning you don't need to ask anyone for help. You have the freedom to handle the situation on your own terms. If your car breaks down, your furnace stops working, or you face an unexpected medical bill, the money is already there. You don't have to worry about borrowing, convincing anyone to help, or feeling uncomfortable about the situation. This kind of financial independence brings incredible peace of mind. Knowing that you are fully prepared to handle emergencies allows you to focus on solutions rather than stressing about finding money at the last minute. Financial independence also gives you the power to make rational decisions during emergencies. When you borrow money, you may feel pressured to act quickly, or make compromises you wouldn't otherwise consider. You might take out loans with high interest rates, sell valuable assets at a loss, or accept unfavorable terms just to get the money you need. An emergency fund eliminates this pressure. You can evaluate the situation calmly, make informed decisions, and handle the problem efficiently. You no longer have to compromise or make choices out of desperation because you are fully prepared. Another advantage of having an emergency fund is the confidence it gives you in everyday life. You start to feel secure knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. This confidence can reduce stress, improve your mental health, and even help you take smarter financial risks in other areas of life. For example, someone with a solid emergency fund might feel comfortable starting a small business, investing in education, or making other long-term decisions, because they know they have a safety net to fall back on if something goes wrong. This is something you simply can't achieve if you are constantly relying on others for financial support. Building an emergency fund also encourages better money management habits. When you prioritize saving for emergencies, you become more aware of your spending, budgeting, and financial goals. You start making smarter choices, cutting unnecessary expenses, and putting money into accounts that can grow safely over time. Over time, this discipline can lead to significant financial stability and freedom, far beyond the security of just having some money set aside. You're not only protected from unexpected events, you're actively improving your financial situation for the long term. Ultimately, the decision to create an emergency fund is about control. Life is unpredictable, and emergencies can happen to anyone at any time. Relying on friends, family, or loans gives up a portion of that control and puts your well-being in someone else's hands. By saving for emergencies, you take full responsibility for your financial security. You can handle emergencies efficiently, reduce stress, and avoid debt. You gain independence, confidence, and peace of mind that is priceless. In short, while borrowing money from friends or family may seem convenient, it's not a reliable solution. Emergencies don't wait. Relationships can't always provide financial help, and loans can create stress or debt. An emergency fund protects you from all of these risks. It ensures that you're prepared, no matter what life throws at you. It's a safety net that gives you freedom, independence, and true peace of mind. Once you have it, you'll realize how empowering it is to know that unexpected challenges won't shake your financial stability. The beauty of the 3-6 months rule is its simplicity. It works for anyone: students, working professionals, freelancers, small business owners. The exact amount might differ depending on your lifestyle, but the principle remains the same. Cover your essential needs for 3 to 6 months. That's the goal. And don't let perfection stop you. You don't need to save exactly 3 months in one go. Start with whatever you can. Maybe you save $50 a month, maybe $100. The important part is to be consistent and not give up. Once you start, you'll see the number growing, and that confidence alone is motivating. When your emergency fund is fully built, life changes. You no longer feel stressed about minor emergencies. You can sleep better at night knowing that if something unexpected happens, you're ready. You can focus on growing your wealth, investing, or even starting a business without worrying constantly about financial disasters. Some people like to save for exactly 6 months. Others are comfortable with 3 months as a starter. The key is, start now. Don't wait for the perfect time, because emergencies can happen anytime. The sooner you start, the sooner you have financial security. You might ask, can I use my emergency fund for big goals like buying a house or car? The answer is no. This fund is strictly for emergencies. Mixing it with long-term goals can put your finances at risk. Keep it separate. Treat it like untouchable money that only comes out for real crises. Another practical tip: review your emergency fund once a year. As your expenses increase, your emergency fund should also grow. If your rent goes up or your family grows, recalculate your 3-6 months of essential expenses and adjust your fund accordingly. This ensures you're always fully prepared. Some people save and then lose discipline. They spend it unnecessarily. Remember, the key to financial security is discipline. This money is your safety net, not your spending pool. Respect it, protect it, and watch it give you freedom and confidence. The truth is, life is unpredictable. Nobody knows when a crisis will hit. But having an emergency fund based on the 3 to 6 months rule is like having a shield that keeps you protected, keeps you calm, and lets you make better decisions. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful financial strategies you can ever implement. Even if you have debts, don't ignore this fund. It doesn't have to be large at first. Start small, build it slowly, and then work on paying off debts. Having an emergency fund even while paying debts makes your financial foundation stronger and safer. Imagine waking up one morning and suddenly something unexpected happens. Your car breaks down on the way to work, or your roof starts leaking during a heavy rainstorm. Maybe you or a family member fall sick, or worse, you lose your job. Now, instead of panicking or wondering how to get the money to cover these expenses, you calmly open your emergency fund and handle it. You don't have to call anyone, borrow money, or stress about repayment. You have the freedom to deal with the problem directly, without the added weight of financial pressure. That sense of control, that ability to face life's surprises without fear, is the kind of peace of mind that only true financial planning can provide. Financial planning often sounds complicated or intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. At its core, it's about taking simple, consistent steps to protect yourself and your loved ones. One of the most important steps you can take is to save enough money to cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. That's not your entire salary, not your lifestyle spending, but the bare minimum you need to live: rent, groceries, utilities, transport, EMIs, and basic medical costs. This single step can transform the way you experience money. It turns uncertainty into security, fear into confidence, and stress into clarity. When you have this financial cushion, emergencies no longer feel like disasters. They become manageable situations. Instead of worrying about where to get the money, you focus on what needs to be done. Your decision-making improves because you aren't acting out of desperation. If a sudden expense arises, you can calmly assess your options, prioritize your spending, and solve the problem efficiently. This kind of financial independence is empowering. It gives you the freedom to handle life on your own terms, rather than being at the mercy of chance or other people's generosity. Think about the psychological impact. Money stress is one of the biggest sources of anxiety for adults around the world. Constantly worrying about bills, debts, or unexpected costs can affect your sleep, your health, and even your relationships. Having an emergency fund changes all of that. You know that no matter what happens, you have a safety net. That knowledge alone reduces stress and frees your mind to focus on things that matter: your career, your family, your dreams. You start to feel calmer, more confident, and more in control of your life. This step of saving for 3 to 6 months also builds discipline. It forces you to track your expenses, prioritize needs over wants, and make conscious financial choices. Over time, these habits extend into other areas of your life. You start budgeting better, saving more consistently, and even investing wisely. In essence, building an emergency fund isn't just about the money itself, it's about the mindset it creates. You learn patience, consistency, and long-term thinking, which are key ingredients for lasting financial success. Another important aspect is the freedom it gives you to take risks in a calculated way. When you know that emergencies are covered, you can pursue opportunities that previously felt too risky. Want to start a small business? Go for it. Thinking about changing careers or investing in further education? You can make those moves without fear of financial ruin. The emergency fund acts as a foundation of safety, allowing you to make bolder choices that can improve your financial future. It's also worth noting that life is unpredictable. No matter how carefully you plan, unexpected expenses will arise. Cars break down, appliances fail, medical emergencies happen, and sometimes, jobs are lost. Without an emergency fund, each of these events can create panic, force you into debt, or even destabilize your financial life. With a 3 to 6 months cushion, however, you are protected. Emergencies no longer derail your life, they become manageable challenges. You respond calmly, confidently, and effectively. Even if you start small, the power of this step is immense. You don't have to save 6 months' worth of expenses immediately. Begin with a small, consistent contribution each month. Track your spending, cut unnecessary expenses, and gradually build the fund. Each deposit brings you closer to a state of security. And as your fund grows, so does your confidence. You begin to trust yourself to handle whatever life throws your way. Finally, imagine the long-term effect. Once your emergency fund is fully established, your relationship with money changes completely. You stop living paycheck to paycheck. You no longer feel anxious every time something unexpected happens. You gain a sense of independence that allows you to focus on growth instead of survival. This one step, saving enough for 3 to 6 months of essentials, can truly change your financial life. It's simple, practical, and transformative. Financial planning isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about creating stability, security, and peace of mind. By taking this one step, you are giving yourself the ultimate gift, the confidence to face life without fear, the freedom to make better choices, and the assurance that no matter what happens, you are prepared. And that ultimately is what financial planning is all about. So start today. Track your expenses, figure out your essential costs, and start building your fund step by step. Remember, every small deposit counts. Consistency beats perfection. In a few months, you'll look back and realize you've created a real safety net that protects you, your family, and your future. Life will always have surprises, but with an emergency fund, you're no longer vulnerable. You're prepared, confident, and in control. Don't wait for the right moment, because the right moment is now. Start building your 3 to 6 months emergency fund today and secure your financial freedom. You'll thank yourself later when life throws curveballs and you're ready to handle them without stress. That's the true power of financial planning, and this small step today can change your tomorrow.